Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the day 6 of WebDev 101 by Tech Drill initiative initiated by GDG Jalandhar. So far, the journey of learning has been really good. We have covered fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We have also covered some practical labs, and after dedicating 5 days of 5 days of our time into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I think we can build good projects. And let us see what are we going to cover today. And we also have day 7. So on the 7th day, we are going to learn a little bit more about JavaScript, and we are also going to build a mini project using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Let's see what we are going to do today. So today we are mainly going to cover three main topics: what is DOM, DOM methods, DOM manipulation, and then we are going to build a contact directory mini project. So the mini project contact directory is a project which will where we will learn new things. We will also see what we covered yesterday. So yesterday we covered more on the theoretical part of JavaScript. We mainly learned about the different concepts, and today we are going to try to implement all those concepts in our projects. So let's see how we can do that at last. But let me quickly remind you that if you want to follow up your learnings, then you can follow up using this GitHub repository. And we today we also talked about open source contributions. So for an example, if you feel that something is missing in the repository, and if you think that do you want to also share your expertise or share your learnings, then you can try to contribute to this project also, and I'll be very happy to merge your pull requests. Continuing to today. So today we are going to first of all see what is DOM. So have you heard about DOM before? Any one of you? Okay. So DOM is nothing but basically document object model. So it is referred as document object model. So now let us try to understand what exactly it is. So on the first day, we learned a little bit about how websites work, how the browsers load websites. So we learned a little bit about different rendering engine and JavaScript engine. So whenever a web page is loaded on the browser creates a document object model of the page. We'll see what exactly document object model is, and we are always going to use document object model DOM whenever we want to change the look and feel of the website. And with DOM, JavaScript gets all the power it needs to create dynamic HTML. So till now we have just created static websites. There were nothing. It was not having any kind of interactions. But now we can create interactive and dynamic HTML pages using JavaScript. So if you want to build all these dynamic and interactive web pages, so JavaScript has the capabilities to change all kind of HTML elements in the page. So it can also, if we say that it can change HTML elements, so it can also change the attributes inside HTML elements. If we want to change the style, if you want to change the look and feel of the web page, then that is also what we can do using JavaScript. JavaScript can also remove existing HTML elements and attributes. So for an example, if you do not have the permission to view some kind of HTML elements, then you can also hide that for different kinds of users. So we can add, we can delete, we can change, we can change the HTML elements, we can change the style of the HTML elements, and we can almost do everything using JavaScript. And we need to use the DOM, document object model, whenever we want to manipulate all kind of HTML elements. So let's see what is a DOM object tree. So whenever the web page is loaded, the browser creates the DOM, and it can also be represented in the form of object tree. So here you can see that we have different HTML elements under different hierarchies, and different hierarchies are represented in this way. So for an example, the main document is so whenever we say, even if we write the first thing in HTML5 document is the doc type. So we have the document, inside that we have the root element. So we have HTML as the root element. Inside that we have two different things. We have head tag and we have body tag. So inside head tag we have title, which we generally mention in mostly all our projects, and inside body we have different tags. So a whole tree kind of structure is generated of DOM. Next thing is DOM methods. So we discussed a lot about how what we can do using DOM and what we can do using JavaScript. So for all kind of interactions, for all kind of manipulations, for all kind of changes that you want to make, we need to use different kind of methods. Method is nothing but it is just a function. So uh, methods is the generic way of defining of calling functions, and here the document object represents your whole web page. So also in the DOM object tree, we see that document is at the topmost level. So inside that we have different methods. So we generally use the document first whenever in every statement when we want to manipulate HTML. And if you might remember, then we have something called CSS selectors, right? That we learned on day 2 or day 3. So similarly in JavaScript, if we want to actually select some kind of HTML elements, if you want to manipulate them, then first of all we need to select the HTML elements. And here also it can be done in three ways. We can get the HTML elements by their ID. We can also get the elements by the HTML tag name, and we can also get them by the class name. So now I think you are very clear with why we use class ID and all of that. So these are the three main methods, and let me open the pointer. So inside the parentheses, we generally need to define. We need to change what exactly is the ID. Here also we need to define what exactly is the tag name. For an example, if you want all the paragraph text, then here we need to define the p tag. And also in the class name here, for an example, if you want all the elements for having some kind of class name, then we can get that using we can get that by defining the class name inside the parenthesis. Do remember that here we have get element by ID, so this will return a single element, while here we have get elements by tag name and class name, so this will return an array of HTML elements. Okay, are we very clear with this thing? So today, when we are going to build the contact directory project, we are heavily going to use the DOM methods. So any questions, any quick questions? If you don't have, just let me know Uh, okay, thank you. Moving on to the next thing, DOM manipulations. So we talked about what is DOM, what can we do using DOM, what are the different methods of DOM. So let us see what we can do using DOM manipulations. The full form of DOM is document object model. So uh, whenever we want whenever we want to manipulate, basically means changing. Manipulate means changing the HTML elements. So whenever we want to change the elements, HTML elements, then we need to use dot inner HTML. Whenever we want to change the HTML attributes, then we need to use the attribute name. So for an example, if I want to change the href of any anchor tag, then I will say that document dot get element by ID. I will paste the ID of the anchor tag over there, and I will say dot href equals to whatever the href that I want to pass. So generally, this is how we use DOM manipulations. We'll see how these things work. We'll also see the demo of all JavaScript part. But for now, I'm trying to make you understand what can we, like, how can we manipulate HTML. Then uh, for an example, if a user is filling up the form, and for an example, the user has uh, for an example, the user has inserted wrong values, then he has to backspace, go to each and every input field and backspace all the characters. But we can also add a clear all button. So we can change the values inside input field. If we want to get the values from the input field, then also we can do that. So this is mainly used whenever we are creating some kind of form or some kind of input field to get user input, and we will see. We are briefly going to see how that works. The last thing is the styles. So whenever we say that if there is some kind of error from, for an example, if we are calling, like if we are requesting some kind of image from the backend, and if that image is not coming, then we want the background color of some HTML element to be red. So such kind of dynamic things we can do using DOM manipulations of styles of DOM manipulation. What we need to do? We need to do, for an example, document dot get element by ID, and then we can use dot style dot background color equals to red. So these kind of statements we generally need to use when we are trying to manipulate the DOM. We'll see how that works. So are you folks excited for the project that we are going to build today? Okay, so let me quickly share my screen and let's see what we are going to build today. Okay, the contact directory application, is that visible to you? Okay, so we are going to build such kind of a website. So what we will do is that we will enter some name, let's say one. Then we will enter some numeric data, let's say any data, and then we can add that data, and that will be added here in the contact directory. So we are trying to create recreate something like a phone book thing, and we can also clear all the data. Let's say if I have typed something and all this data I don't want to type, I have inputted some wrong data, then we also want to implement clear all functionality. So that will also clear the form and that will also clear the data. So whenever we do not have any data, we will say that no history found. So this is a very simple project, but this is very interesting to learn when we see this kind of interactions using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Today we are not going to really focus on beautifying the website. So it might look pretty simple, simple and sober to you, but you can always add your creativity to the websites. So let's quickly get started. Let's don't waste much of the time. And coming to VS Code, is the VS Code visible to you? Okay, okay. So the first thing that we need to do is to create the index.html page. So let's say index.html. Let me open this on the right hand side. Okay, now this looks perfect. Okay, so inside HTML, let us first of all create the template. So this is the template of our website. Okay, so this is the template of our website. Let's say the title should be contact directory, and inside that we want one h1 tag. For an example, let's say contact directory. Okay, inside that we have two different containers. We have one for input and one for we have one for output. So let us create two different containers. Let's also add this inside a container. Okay, then we have one more division. Let's give this the ID of input input container. Then inside that we want to have a heading, and then we want to have two different fields. So inside that, let's say h3, add a new contact. Then inside that, let us create a table so that it looks perfect. Okay, so th, then tr. Inside the first row we want two data. Okay, so okay, in the first row let us give the label. Let's say label for, let's say, contact name. Then we have name. Okay, on the second row we have one input field. We want that to be text. For the name, let's say contact name, and for the ID again, let's say contact name. We want one similar kind of row, so let's quickly copy paste this. Do not waste much of our time. Let's say let us say number and number. Here also let us define number. Okay, let us run this website on our browser, see how it looks like. Okay, it looks very basic, no problem. Then we have two buttons. So let's create two buttons. So let's say a button, inside that we have add data, then we have another button, and there we have clear all data. Okay, refresh this. Okay, we have two different buttons. Let's not focus right now on the styling part. Let's first create the layout of the website and then we can focus on styling. Let us have another division. Inside that, let's have one H3 which says contact directory. Let's have one more table. Inside that, we have T head. Inside T head, we have table row. We have two different headings. First is name, another is number, and then we have body. Inside T-body, let us say we have one row, we have data, let's say any data, and one more we have any kind of any number. See how it looks like here, pretty basic. So now let's style this a little bit. Here, let's style this. So inside the head, let's uh, let's create let's have internal style sheet for now. Let us say class equals to container and also have that container in the contact directory also. Let us see how we can design the container. So let's say container inside that. Okay, inside that let us have a border. Say border equals to 1 pixel solid gray. Then have border radius. Let's say 5 pixel. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. What is missing? We are missing the margin and padding part over here. Now you'll understand what exactly it is. We also have the text center. Let's also text align center, and let's say padding equals to 10 pixels. Let's see how it looks like. Here let's use some more padding. Let's say 20 pixels. Okay. Now let's have some margin so it does not look very wide. Let's say 30 pixels. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, most it looks good. Let us also let's also define the let's also define the width. Okay, let's say max width should be 300 pixel. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, almost similar. And then we also want this to be center line. So let's say style equals, let's have the whole division. Let's say style equals to extra line center and everything is centered. Okay. This is having different margins. So let us remove that. Let's say we have H3, right? So I'm using different kind of styling part for you to understand. So we have internal styles, we have inline styles. Here we have using class selector, and now I'm using the tag selector. So let's say margin we just want it to be, let's say 5 pixel. How it looks like. Okay, now it looks much better. Okay, okay, add a new content. Okay. So now you can see that we have covered all the visual part. Okay, we have covered all the visual part. And now let us see how we can make this more interactive. So right now, if I do something, this will not work. Okay. So let's make this interactive. So before making this interactive, let us add a style sheet. So first of all, let us create a file. Let's say script.js, and then here we define script src, and we just say that script.js. So we have added our JavaScript file. Now let us see what we can do. Okay, so now the first thing that we learned yesterday was JavaScript variables. So let us define a variable in which we want to store all kind of data. Okay, so in which we want to store all kind of data. So let us say let contact. Here we use this kind of case. So we generally use camel case. So here also you can see that the first letter is small, and after that all the letters are capital. Here also we have the contact name, we have contact number. So we use camel case in JavaScript. Okay, inside this, let us create an array. So if you want to have multiple values inside one variable, then we use array. And yesterday we also saw that whenever we have a similar kind of format. So here we have a kind of a format, we have a name and number, and we have all different values. So what we can do is that we can simply create different objects. So let's say we have, let's say, contact name, and we have, for an example, let us say we have some data. Inside this, let us have contact number, and inside that, let us have some data. Let me recreate this thing. So we have different data, and here we have again some kind of different data. Okay, so we have created a data array. What do we need to do? We need to show, for an example, we first of all need to show this data instead of what we have right now manually. So let's see how we can do that. So we want the data to be inside the table. So we want it to be in the T body, right? We want it in the T body. So let's have a ID over here. Let's say table body. Let's see how we can add this. So right now I'm removing all the data. So now we don't have any data by default. Let's quickly style this with width equals to 100 pixels, so it looks proper. Okay. Okay. So now let us create a function. So whenever we want to club some code together, then we create a function. So let us say function to data. So inside that, uh, first of all, we need to understand that where do we want to show the data. So we want to show the data inside the table. So let us say that document dot get element by ID. Inside that, let us pass table hyphen body, and this will understand that we are referring to this HTML element. Okay, are you getting what we are doing with JavaScript? What we are doing with the DOM manipulation? Okay, great, fantastic. So now what we'll do is that we want the we want some kind of HTML inside that. So what we will do is that we'll add some HTML tags inside that. So whenever we want to manipulate any kind of HTML tags, then we generally use dot inner HTML. And let us say uh, we want that to be this tag, right? We manually placed this tag. Now we want this to be inside this. Let's refresh. All right, I want to add HTML. Okay, the table body. This should run. Let us see what we are missing out. Okay, let's debug this. Okay, so when we talk about document, then we have get element by ID. Inside that, we have table slash body. Okay, then we have inner HTML, and we want that to be, let's say, some kind of data right now. Okay, this is working, but why this is not working? Do I have any typo? Okay, think there is some spelling mistake. This should work. Okay, right. So see, we are making a very silly mistake over here. So we created the show data function, but we did not call the function. So this function is created, but we are not calling the function. So let us call the function. I'm so sorry. I just got diverted, but okay. Now this is working perfect. Okay. So we want some row, right? So let us have a row. Let us say we have tr. Inside the tr we have td. Inside td here we have some data. Here we have some number. Let's see if this runs. Oops. Okay. Let's structure it this way. Let's use the bracket symbol. Okay. See, now it is working perfectly. So debugging is important. So now what the first functionality that we want to do, we want to add the data, right? We want the values of this input fields inside the table. I'll talk about this symbol. I'll talk about this symbol later when we actually get the values. Let me come first of all to the most important part. Let's say we have created a add a data function. Okay. Just to simply show you this also, we can also do this. Okay, this will also work. Okay, so inside add data, first of all we want to get the values. We want to get the values of the input fields. So let's say let contact, let's say new values, new contact name equals to document dot get element by id, and then we need to use the value keyword. Let us also have this for contact number. Let us copy paste what IDs do we have. We have contact name and we have contact number. Okay, so we have created two different variables inside the function. So these variables will be not accessible outside the function. This will be only accessible inside this brackets. So now what we want to do is that we want to add this data. We want to add the new values inside the contact data array. So do you remember what functions do we need to use? What array function do we need to use when we want to add the value to the beginning of the array? So a quick question for you. Do you remember what do we need to use? Let me share you quickly. So let us create a new object. So here we have different objects, right? So let us create a new object. Let's say new value equals to a JavaScript object. Then we'll have the same structure. So we have contact name and we have contact number. So inside contact name, we want to pass this. So see, this structure should be similar here also. Let us copy paste this structure instead of creating another. And inside this, we want this to be the new value, right? We are getting the value from the document DOM, and then we want the value from contact name. So let's say new contact name. Here, let's say this. Great. Thanks for the answers. So now, whenever we want to add any values at the beginning part, we need to use the unshift function. So here we have contact data. So let's say contact data dot unshift. And inside that we are going to pass the new value. Okay. And whenever we call this function, this will add new data. This will add new data to the contact data. So let's save this, and we also need to call the function. So let's say add a data, and we want this to be add data. So on the button, let's say on click, we want add data function to be called. Okay, okay, looks perfect. Let's see. Okay, this will add the data, but right now we are statically showing this data. So let us also see how we can show the data. Right now we can add the data, but we are not showing all the outputs. So let's see how we can show the data. First of all, uh, for an example, we have some kind of values. Let us make table body blank. So for an example, if we already have some values inside this, then we want first of all this to be empty. Let's remove all the HTML elements, even if we have or not, and then let us use a for loop. So, and for array, there is a special kind of for loop. Let me show you that. So let's say contact data dot for each. So whenever we use for each, so uh, this each and every object will be traversed when we use for each. So generally we do not have to use the for general for loop, and we do not have to worry about what is the length of the array and all those kind of stuff. So we use for each, and inside for each we have a function. So if you remember, we have some kind of arrow function concept. So we learned about that yesterday. So here I have created a anonymous arrow function. We don't need to define any names if we do not want that. So we are passing data. So what is data? Data is this one single object. And every time this array runs, we are going to have one single object each and every time. So let us see how we can show this. So let's say let us simply copy paste this because we want to show all the data inside the inner HTML of table body. So let's say table body dot inner HTML. Now strings are generally used when we want to when we want to pass on static data, but when we want to quickly pass dynamic data, then what we need to use is that we need to use this backticks. So backtick is the key which is above tab in Windows and on your keyboard. So we generally use this when we also need to pass variables. So let's see what are the variables over here. First of all, let us create a row, and inside okay, inside the row let us have three things. Okay, let us have okay okay. Now what we need to do, we need to pass data dot contact name. So for passing any kind of variable, we need to use this. Format. So this is dollar. Inside brackets, we can pass any variables. Here also we want to pass a variable. Let's say data dot contact number, and here we want to pass a button. So let's say button, and we want the button to be delete. Let us okay. Let's create the function later on. Delete functionality later on. Okay, now we have run the show data function. We are also running the show data function, but we also need to run the show data function whenever we add different value. For an example, if I add the value to an array, but if I'm not running the function, then we will not be able to see the newer values. So let us also see what values are added. Let us refresh. Okay, we have John Doe and Mark. Okay, okay. Is there any problem? Let's see. Let us okay, let's see. Okay, we do not have any problem. Why is it not showing John Doe? Okay. Let's see. So for an example, if we are adding some values, let's say new value, add data. What is the error? Am I using the same file? Okay, this should not happen. Say add data. Are we having add data? Yes. Let us see if add data function is running. Let's say console.log add data is working. Here also let us log uh, when the function is running or not. So let's say console.log, and we want contact data to log. Okay. Okay. Let us run this. Let us add some value, some numbers, add data functionality. Okay. So this is how we debug. So add data function is working at the beginning. You also have three different values. We have Mark, John Doe, and this one. So now there is some problem in this part. So let's see what is the problem here. Let's say log. Now let us remove this because this is working. Let us see log, and inside log let us see contact data. Great. Here we are having two values. So okay, why is it not working? Contact name, contact number. Okay, this. Mm, let's see. Let's see. Are we having the new values? We have new contact name, new contact number. We have contact name, contact number is the same values. Okay, add some value, add some number. Okay, there are three values. Why is it not working? Where it says it will overwrite the data. Hmm. We do want to quickly share because I think I'm a little confused why it is not working. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. That's a pretty small mistake. See, so what we are doing is we are changing the data three times, and what we want to do is that we want to add this, right? We want to append this. So now this will work. What we are doing is what the error was, that we were adding one row, then we were again manipulating the row with different data, and so on and so forth. But what we need to do is that we also learned about this, right? So this is like uh, a equals to a plus b. So this is adding some data to whatever it was. So thanks for the mistake, pointing out the mistake. And now this should perfectly work. Let's say new data, number, and add data. Now what the next thing we want to do is that we want to delete this data. So for deleting the data, we also want to first of all know which values do we need to remove. So let us simply create a variable. Let's say I equals to 0. Let us also increment that after each and every uh, traversal, and let us add on click equals to delete data function. Let us add the index, and here the index is I. Okay. So now we have delete data function. So let us create the delete data function. Let's say function delete data. This is a parameterized function, and we want to delete the data. Now we are going to learn a new method of array, which is called splice. So let us define the array, and we want to splice. So whenever we want to remove any element uh, using any index. So I don't want to remove the first element or the last element, but I want to remove some element from the between. So what we can do is we can pass on the index, and we can pass on how many number of values we want to remove. So for an example, if we want to remove five values from any index, then I want the index to be any index, and I will write five over here. So right now, for an example, if I want to remove John Doe, and John Doe is at index one, then I want to remove John Doe, which is having index one, and I only want to remove one value. So that is this is the slice function. And after removing, we also need to show data. So let's say show data. Let us refresh this and let us add some values. Say one. Let's say one. Add. Let's say two and add. Now see, John Doe is being removed. One is being removed. Two is being removed, and Mark is being removed. So this is how we perform the delete functionality. Now let us also, whenever we want to input different values, so we want this to be empty, right? We don't want to remove like this way. So what will create a function. Let's say function reset form. We will simply get the document dot get element by ID. Let us get this. Okay. Okay, and we want the value to be null. We want the value to be 0. And same goes for number. And when do we want to run this function? We want to run this whenever we add data. So let's say after adding the data, we want to run this function. Okay, let's say one, and this is again getting empty. Now it is having it looks kind of perfect, right? It looks perfect. What is the next thing? We can also add empty values, and we don't want to have such kind of condition. So what we will do is that we will simply add a if and else thing. So let us say that if new contact name dot length, if it is not equal to 0, and new contact number dot length is not equal to 0, then and only then we want to perform all these functions. So if this is going to be empty, then this will not perform the function C. And let us add else part. So if this is empty, then let's alert. So we learned about all these things yesterday. Let's say uh, please enter input. See, see it is giving alert. Please enter input. So we cannot now add empty values. So these are all the core functionalities, and let's have clear all data. So let's create a function, and before that let us say clear all data, and let us quickly create a function. It's a function clear data. Now what we want to do, we also want all these values to be cleared. So let us simply run the reset form function, and we also want the contact data. We all want these to be removed too. So let us say contact data equals to empty. So this will remove all the values. This will reassign. The contact data values will be reassigned. Let's save this, refresh, and clear all data. Oops. Contact data, contact. Okay. So here also a small mistake. We also want to run the show data function, because it is removing the elements from the array, but it is we are not showing again. Okay, now this is working perfectly. The expected behavior is there. One thing is remaining, we do not have uh, the no history found thing, right? We do not have no history found. So let us here also add one validation. Let's say if contact data dot length is if contact data dot length is not equal to 0, then we want this function to be performed, or else we simply want to pass document dot get element by id equal body dot inner equals to uh, yeah, so equals to, we want a row, inside that we want data, we want no history found. Okay, clear all, no history found. Let's fix the css part also. So let's say call span equals to 2. So this will span over both the columns. uh, what are we missing? Oops, I need to add this to the data part. Okay, good. So now the application is working perfectly. We have all kind of validations. We also have all kind of data data operations, and everything is working perfectly. So any questions so far? Okay, do you have any questions? Pratik says use validation. Uh, Sorry, what do you mean by that? Where? Where do we want to add validation? And yes, you can find the source code on this link. I've already uploaded that. So if you wanna run this project on your machine, just simply clone the repository and copy it. I think I'm not getting what exactly you are trying to say. We just for all kind of validation, we just need to create different if and else things. So that's easy. That's easy. Any questions? Okay. Now what I want you to do tonight is that I want you to check out what is local storage. What is local storage and how you can use that. So I have done 90 percentage of the part, but I also want you all to learn proactively. JavaScript, HTML, CSS is not something which can be learned fully, and that is why I want you to create a practice of learning. So please refer to what exactly is local storage, and how can we so when for an example, if I refresh this page, right? So if I refresh this page, okay, there's some CSS issue. Quickly fix that. 30 pixels and auto. Okay. So whenever we refresh this, so any kind of data which we added is going to be refreshed. All the static values are only going to be there. What I want you is that this data should be stored in our browser, and this data should not get removed until or unless we remove all history and all local storage. So I want you to perform that one functionality on this project, and it will be a star on all the functionalities. Whenever we do not add value, what message is shown in validation? Okay, we can also quickly do that. Let's say uh, add a data function, right? If this is not having value, then we are saying please alert, please enter input. We can add different else. If we can say that if contact dot name dot length is equal to 0, then we can say please enter contact name. We can also add one more else if which checks any contact number field. So this is what I want you all to do. I want you all to uh, get dirty with this project, get your hands dirty, because this is how you will learn. You will not, you cannot grasp 100% of what you learn. So that is how, after practicing, you learn. Today also I made a very small silly mistake. I forgot to add the append function, so append sign. So this is how you will learn. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining in today. I hope you understood what we discussed today, what kind of project that we did, and you can also check out the source code on GitHub. Thank you, and over to GDG Jalandhar.